ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथा मह्यं ददति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलान् श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललित श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. I welcome you all to our today's systematic study of Vedic scriptures. In that session, we are talking about Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16. Um, we are appreciating the transcendental qualities of a devotee. This chapter, entitled The Divine and Demonic Natures, is very nice so that we can appreciate. If Krishna is showing the universal form, maybe the impersonalist might appreciate, or one who sees his magnanimity can appreciate. Even Arjuna was not so keen. Yeah, he then immediately asked, "Can you please show me your two-hand form?" Yeah. Uh, so for devotee, we are always eager how to improve ourselves, how to develop good qualities, so that we are in the good books of the Lord. Mm. Of course, Lord is not partial. He is equal to everyone, but he definitely appreciates devotees um, as a way of reciprocating and exchanging loving relationship with the devotees. So, what are the qualities? Krishna speaks to Arjuna. I'm just sharing my screen. Let me know if I'm audible.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Shri Bhagavan अभयं सत्त्वसंसिद्धिर्ज्ञानयोगव्यवस्थितिः दानं दमश्च यज्ञश्च स्वाध्यायः तप आर्जवम् अहिंसा सत्यम् अक्रोधस् त्यागं शान्तिरव अपौ अपैशुनं दया भूतेष्वलोलुप्त्वं मार्दवम् ह्रीर् अचापलं तेजा क्षमा धृति शौचम् अद्रोहो नातिमानिता भवन्ति सम्पदं दैवीम् अभिजातस्य भारत. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. We have been in the last weeks discussing the beauty of this particular uh, verse, where the Lord is sharing us the true wisdom how to advance in our spiritual journey. We all have great desire. We all know the bitterness of this world. We all know how dangerous it is, the place where we are living. And we also know, okay, uh, irrespective of how realized we are, at least we know, yeah, that I do not belong to this world. I'm not this body. These basics that we have been um, reading through in the last chapters of the same teachings of the Lord in the form of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, then the qualities that we need so that we can advance is very, very important. Otherwise, what happens is there are, of course, six characters or qualities of a demonic nature, which starts from verse number 4. We can also look and see how close we are and how we should overcome them. But for today, let's focus on a very important quality, which is aversion to fault finding. Hmm. Aversion to fault finding. If someone remember what we discussed last week, what are maybe a couple of ways we discuss how to overcome it? If someone can say, we'll start from there. Does someone remember what we discussed last week? What are some tips of um, or traps? Let's say what happens when someone has the habit of fault finding, and what are some tips mm, through which we can overcome them? Anyone, if you remember anything?
Hare Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
Hare Krishna Sudama Prabhu.
Yes, Madam.
Um, so it was, you were also saying that before we act, we should always first understand that we have to control ourselves, like
Mm-hmm.
in order.
Yeah, we have to control our urges. Yeah, nice point.
So, yes.
That one. Yeah, others. Yeah, thanks, Madani. Anyone else? How can we counteract the fault finding um, rush that comes to our mind? Hmm?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dhawan Pranam.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
One of the things that I try to apply, learning from the Vaishnavas, is that to look for what is quality in that person that is good and probably which is better than you,
Mm-hmm.
instead of always looking for what is bad and what is not doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Better to look for qualities which he's doing good, and especially the ones where that person is better than you, so that you can appreciate and even try to serve him and learn from him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so appreciation. Yeah. One of the solutions for fault finding, yeah, to overcome that is appreciation. And last week we were also discussing little bit about how do we do this kind of genuine appreciation. Yeah, maybe someone who joined can share. How can we do it? How can we appreciate someone? I think Tirumala Mataji, I think you were asking, and yeah, in that connection, how do we do that? Some practical ways. How do we appreciate someone?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you
Yes.
are, if, yeah, if someone is doing good, we have to tell that they are doing good, so that in that way they can build the relationship, like good relationship.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The key is building good relationship with
yeah.
everyone. Yeah. Chintamani Mataji.
You also mentioned it should be genuine, like we need to appreciate, not just superficially.
Mm-hmm.
but religion.
Yeah. As a devotee, we should understand that we are always not great devotees. Yeah, we might be doing so many services, so many things, but we should understand that uh, there are so many uh, uncountable devotees who are very, very advanced. Yeah, we can see that we are just like yeah. There is in Chaitanya Charitamrita about there are so many universes, yeah, equal to a size of a mustard seed, but full in a bucket full of such mustards, which means in that mustard, in that universe, we are even more tiny. We see just the population of the world is so much. And in that way, we can see that, okay, I am very, very small. Mm. The more and more we see um, outside, we should only appreciate how small we are, how insignificant we are. Then we see that way, then we can appreciate, okay, yeah, definitely there is some great quality, good qualities in others that, yeah, we should be genuinely doing it. And we should also not just keep it to ourselves. Yeah, we appreciate someone for his singing, we appreciate someone for his cooking, we appreciate someone for his tireless service. And we shouldn't just appreciate that, but explicitly mention that. Wow, yeah, I wouldn't do that. I don't have that capacity to, yeah, raise my bars so high that I can't keep it up. You're obviously blessed. Yeah. So of course, with devotees, you can appreciate easily, because we can see, okay, he has devotional um, creditability because he's doing service very, very persistently, and so we can appreciate explicitly. What about non-devotees? How can we appreciate? We can see that initially the appreciations can be still at a mundane qualities that one has, that he is very gentle, he is very modest, he is trustworthy, he is helping, um, has a great helping nature. So one can find still, it's not that only devotees have all great qualities and non-devotees or may not have. No, we can appreciate the goodness. If someone is a vegetarian, but he is not a devotee, we can still appreciate, yeah, he is that. But of course, we should not say that, wow, that's the best thing, that's the best thing, he has the best thing. No, we should be also genuine, which means that, yeah, that is nice. Yeah. And how nice it would be if we can engage everything in the service of the Lord. Yeah. We are not finding fault here. We are appreciating that what he has. And yeah. And then what we should do genuinely, I think third one, what we said was praying. We pray for the well-being of everyone. We pray so that that person, if we think that he lacks something, yeah, Krishna, what is he doing? Krishna is saying that, oh, for devotee, what he lacks, I fill it. So we can pray that that person can become a better devotee. Yeah. Um, and I think then we went into some small stories. Of course, today also we can go through few stories, but this quality of appreciation should be genuine. It should then also not only on a mundane platform, but we can also pray for a non-devotee to become a devotee. And for that matter, if a person is seriously taking up to Krishna consciousness, maybe today he is not a devotee, but if he takes up by prayers of you or someone else, or he himself or Agyata Sukriti is coming on his way and he becomes a devotee, then when he accepts Krishna Eka Sharanam, so in due course, Krishna is saying in Srimad Bhagavatam, that all the qualities, in due course, he will develop all good qualities. Mm. So in that way, then what happens is that, okay, it's not that everyone is staying like that forever. That's usually our impressions. Yeah, we think that the habits are very bad. One cannot break those shackles of habits. So, which means then, as soon as we see a person, we always think this person, I know about him. He doesn't change. As soon as he's taking up service, we immediately think this is going to be big flop. I know that this is not going to be a success. Yeah, we always have a preoccupation. This is what something, if we want to uh, develop the art of overcoming fault finding, one is definitely appreciation. The second one is we shouldn't have preoccupation. Whatever has happened in the past is past. Whatever is happening now and future is a new story. It's not that uh, my life, I'm writing all my last days, and if I give it to you saying, hey, this is all about me, the question will come, what about your future? Yeah. No, no, no. I have all the habits. I am not going to change all the habits. So definitely this is the same thing that will be in the future. We don't accept in it, right? Because we think, hey, I am improving, I'm changing, I'm finding if I compare 10 years back, I was like that. Now I'm like this, which means there is a change. And the change usually is not seen all of a sudden. Yeah, that there is miraculously that Krishna blesses Sudama with a palace. So, which means one day before he was poverty stricken, and next day he has a big palace. So, huge change, isn't it, in the life of Sudama? Uh, um, Usually we want to see miracles, but we do not accept miracles as realities. Um, that's why our tendency is always to think that mm, nah, that's hopeless, to think that someone will change. We have to change, isn't it? If we are thinking like that, no, we can see so many wonderful devotees who just started their Krishna consciousness just few months back. They have taken up Krishna consciousness very seriously, and when they take up, it is just like the magnitude of the fire decides how much it can burn. Yeah, if it is just a small spark, yeah, it won't. But if the small spark is fanned, then what happens, this becomes bigger and bigger, and it has more potency to burn. So the impurities in our heart, yeah, are huge. But when someone is taking to Krishna consciousness more seriously, sincerely, irrespective of what qualities one may have, but if he is taking to this process, then he is far better devotee than us, because he took to the process more uh, suitably, favorably, and Krishna is saying what he lacks, I will personally fill it. So the next thing is that we may have analyzed a person, how good he is, what are his strengths, what are his weaknesses. I think, yeah, sometimes this goes more into prejudgmental. No? Prejudgmental means even before we have the facts that are on the table, before we analyze, before we look into it, before we ourselves are not sure whether we are qualified, or whether do we have the right skills to just judge. Huh? For example, if the subject is about studies, um, a math student. There is a classroom. There are students who attend maths paper, give maths paper, and then if those exam papers to be corrected, it should be done by maths teacher, not by someone who is a biology teacher, because yeah, he may not know. One may think, no, no, no. I also in my school days, you know what? I studied all the subjects, so I also know maths. I know all these formulas. I can also correct. Yeah, yeah. In that way, the skills, we may think that we have the skills to correct, but who is qualified? Only he should, isn't it? Okay, so let's take it further because this fault finding Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, he was telling this is like a pitfall. Uh, it's a pitfall. Just imagine, when we are walking um, in a forest, and then there is a big pit which is made for catching elephants. And you know how these are done. There's a big pit that's made, and it is covered with a lot of dry leaves or something, so that it looks like as if normal. Mm. For us also, we are thinking, hey, when we are talking about someone, about uh, uh, being critical, we are thinking, hey, it's quite normal. I'm doing very normal, basic things. So we are walking in this path. And what happens all of a sudden is that we just simply fall in it because we are committing offenses knowingly, unknowingly, doesn't matter, but we fall. Why? Because the Lord doesn't tolerate. Uh, if someone is um, accusing or finding faults in others, or attacking explicitly, I think when we don't have the urge to control, when we don't know how to control the urges to speak. Yeah, so like last week we were discussing. So these things can become quite dangerous, and it is that's why it said fault finding is getting into or falling into pitfall. And one should be very, very careful. We can take maybe couple of stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, there is this wonderful, what is it? Daksha Yagya. I don't know. I think if you remember, during Srimad Bhagavatam, we went through that. Anyone remember? No? Yes? Yeah, it's a bit long ago, but we can refresh, because these stories are not ordinary stories. These are very, very uh, enriched with a lot of lessons that as the devotees we can pick up. There is this time where all the governors of the universes, they came, they wanted to perform a yajna. So Vidurji is explaining, yeah, he's saying, Vidurji was asking Maitreya Rishi, hey, what happened? That time there is a yajna, Daksha, he was envious, right, of Lord Shiva, who is the best among the gentle. Why did he neglect his daughter Sati? So there is this curious question, and obviously we also want to hear stories, so that we have that nature of hearing stories. Sometimes what we do is we have this nature, and then we use it to discuss about devotees. If it is for the glories of the devotees, that's fine. But if it is about backbiting, or if it is about gossiping, then these stories, this goes into the direction of fault finding, because human tendency is to commit error, and not only to commit error. In this process, he wants to see that, oh, yeah, human commit error, so what is that error the other one is doing? So this is nothing but fault finding. uh, so Maitreya Rishi is telling, you know what, uh, in the beginning of the creation, at the time, all the great sages, philosophers, demigods, fire gods assembled with their followers. Everyone came, and when Daksha Prajapati, the leader of Prajapatis, entered the assembly, everyone stood up. Everyone stood up, and except two persons, Lord Brahma and Shiva. Hmm? So. Um, So Lord Brahma welcomed, and also after offering respect to Lord Brahma, Daksha, he sat, and then Daksha was felt very much offended. Mm. He came there to be part of the yajna, and being the leader, he should show the right behavior. But rather, what he got disturbed and causes disturbance in the future is, what he did is, he saw Shiva didn't stood up when everyone got up. Uh, he didn't give up this his sitting place, and he didn't offer his respect to Daksha. And Daksha became very disturbed, he became very angry, and then he began to speak very strongly against Lord Shiva. Daksha is considering Lord Shiva to be his son-in-law, right? Because his daughter is given, and then in the assembly, when everyone welcomed him, um, yeah, if Lord Brahma didn't get up, that's okay because he's God. What happened to him, Shiva? What happened to him? Why didn't he get up? He didn't. He doesn't know what. Uh, I don't know why did I give my daughter to him. So he became very, very angry. This is what happens, that when we do not get respect that we expect, then there is some disturbance. And this disturbance starts coming out in the form of, one of the ways is definitely fault finding. Fault finding immediately uh, eats or lives on the strength of past knowledge. And yeah, this is what Daksha, he is knowledgeful, and then he's knowledgeful, and he is now using that knowledge to prove his action to be right. Fault finding starts where we can't find faults in ourselves. When we find faults in ourselves, then we keep quiet because we know, hey, I'm not qualified. But when we do not have this capacity of understanding what are the faults in us, then the tendency is more to find faults very easily outside. So then then Daksha, he gets up and he starts saying, all sages, Brahmanas, fire god, please hear me with attention, for I speak about the manners of gentle persons. Uh, so Daksha is telling, hey, uh, uh, everyone here should be gentlemen, but I am seeing there is one who is not a gentleman. And he is saying, I am not. To make his statement more stronger, Daksha is saying that I am not speaking anything out of ignorance or envy. People who say so, yeah, they always, it's natural. Everyone thinks that, hey, I am not envious. And I want to make sure that, hey, I am not envious. I want to make sure that you understand me correctly. I want to make sure that you have always a great opinion about me. So in this process, sometimes we step down from being very loyal, being very honest. Uh, and then in this, we find um, a way of how to present ourselves so that, I'm saying truth, but it's not the complete truth. I know it. So in this case, what Daksha started saying is saying, Shiva has spoiled the name and fame of all the governors of the universe and has polluted the path of gentle manners because he is shameless and he doesn't know how to act. So what are the faults he is finding? He is finding, instead of introspecting ourselves, uh, he is seeing that, hey, he is shameless and he does not know how to act. This is what Daksha is telling about the quality of great personality like Shiva. Daksha wanted to impress upon the minds of others, of all the sages in that meeting, that Shiva uh, being has ruined all good reputations of all the demigods by his unmannerly behavior. And again, Daksha is saying he is very stunted, like a person who is having no shelter. He started saying he's shameless. People who have shame, shyness, what they do is they make sure they cover themselves properly. They are more cultured, more civilized. But this Shiva, he is like this. And after that, he has said, he has already accepted himself as my subordinate by marrying my daughter in the presence of the fire, in the presence of Brahmanas, which means he is my subordinate. He has married my daughter who is as good as Gayatri, and has pretended to be just like an honest person. What is the third fault he is finding? Pretending like an honest person, which means Daksha is saying that Shiva is not truthful. Pretending, pretending means just covering up. So, shameless is one. He is shameless and does not know how to act. Doubting the character of the person of Shiva here, and then he's not. He is not trustworthy, right? He's not truthful. He's not trustworthy. And then, of course, he starts telling he has eyes like monkeys, yeah, and yet he married my daughter, whose eyes are just like those of deer club, yeah. So he starts sharing that, uh, um, making that the person low by pointing out uh, um, that, see, this in comparison, there is a great devotee who has done great that these things, and whenever he does, it's all successful. I trust these people more, but I don't trust these people because these people, blah, blah, blah. And in that way, um, uh, attacking, yeah, so that we are, and Taksha is justifying his act. Then people may say, okay, but why did you give your daughter? Then he is saying, I have no desire to give my daughter to this person who has broken all rules of civility. I'm just reading from Bhagavatam Canto 4, Chapter 2, just to help ourselves to not miss something very important. Because of not observing the required rules and regulation, he is impure. But I'm obliged to hand over my daughter to him just as one teaches the messages of Vedas to Shudra. Vedas are for Brahmanas, but if some obligation, there is an obligation due to which Acharya has said to Shudras, and here Daksha is saying, just like that, I have to give my daughter. Mhm. So in that way, he is saying, Shudras, but Prabhu is saying, a Shudra is forbidden to take lessons from the Vedas because a Shudra, due to his unclean habits, is not worthy to hear such instructions. People will say in today's time, why is there classification? Yeah, if a person cannot exercise the duties properly, he should not be put in such role because otherwise he will only create disturbance. This restriction that unless one has acquired the Brahmanical qualification, one should not read the Vedic literature is the restriction that a law student should not enter a law college unless he has been graduated from all lower grades. Yes, in one way, we are also using this. Yeah, we are not calling this under the four categories, but even in 21st century, we are giving a lawyer title to a person who has qualified himself. We are giving someone a doctorate. So all these qualifications are definitely based on his qualities. So this is what even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Chaturvarna Maya Daksha Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. And according to estimation of Daksha, Shiva was unclean in habits and not worthy to have the hand of his daughter. His daughter is very beautiful. That's so. In other words, according to Daksha, the entire transaction of marriage of his daughter was with Shiva was not in order. But what to do? Why he did? He also says, though it's not like that, I had to do. Uh, I first of all don't like. Uh, he lives in filthy places like crematorium, and his companions are ghosts and demons, naked like a madman. Sometimes laughs, sometimes cries. He smears crematorium ashes all over his body. He does not bath regularly. He ornaments his body with garlands of skulls and bones. Therefore, only in the name is he Shiva, which is auspicious actually. He is the most mad and inauspicious creature. Thus, he is very dear to crazy beings in the gross mode of ignorance, and he is their leader. So this is what Daksha is telling. On the request of Lord Brahma, I handed over my chaste daughter to him, although he is devoid of all cleanliness and his heart is filled with nasty things. Oof. See, from where he started with just one, two, and he ended up saying, hey, all cleanliness and his heart is filled with nasty things. Yeah, the more and more we are speaking, yeah, the gates of ethics, we should know that how can we, what is our qualification to talk about someone? Uh, uh, And yeah, so in this way, Daksha, seeing Lord Shiva sitting as if against him, washed his hands, mouths, and cursed him in the following words. He said, "You know what? The demigods are eligible to share in the oblations of sacrifice, but Lord Shiva, who is the lowest of all the demigods, should not have a share." What did he do? He cursed. Huh? Everyone, when we are doing yajna, yeah, we are inviting so many demigods, and we invite all the demigods. All the demigods will take this and they share among themselves the result. Daksha is saying Lord Shiva is the lowest of all the demigods, which is totally the opposite. And this is what happens in this business of fault finding. Huh? We see a person very, very low, but it is only our problem that we are not seeing the greatness of the person. So, which means we are lower than that person. In the purport, of course, Prabhupada mentions what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in this connection. Lord Shiva was saved from the calamity of taking part with other demigods who were all materialistic. All the demigods who are materialistic, yeah, they might be interested in taking the oblations offered, etc. Lord Shiva is greatest devotee of the Lord, and it is not fitting for him to eat or sit with materialistic people like the demigods. Thus, the curse of Daksha was indirectly a blessing, for Shiva would not have to eat or sit with other demigods who were too materialistic. Uh, there is practice. I mean, the purport goes further. But yeah, let's focus on the theme here. So in this way, in spite of requests of all the members of sacrificial assembly, Daksha in great anger cursed Lord Shiva, and then left the assembly and went back to his home. So what happens? He came actually to be honored. He came actually to be performing the sacrifice. What was that? That was the main purpose. But because he got caught up in anger, he got carried away by fault finding. Uh, he didn't take part in this sacrifice. And then, of course, what happened then is a big thing. That upon understanding Lord Shiva has been cursed, Nandishwar became very angry. He became very angry. His eyes became red. He prepared to curse Daksha and all the Brahmanas present there who had tolerated Daksha's cursing Shiva in harsh words. This is another thing. We may say, hey, I am not fault finding. That second person is finding fault on the third person. What to talk about the first person, me? Yeah, we are present there. Rather, we should either cut the topic or we should leave from the place if we are part of it. Here, Nandishwar, he saw that there are so many who were there when Daksha was cursing Lord Shiva in harsh words. And then anyone who has accepted Daksha as the most important personality and neglected Lord Shiva because of envy is less intelligent, and because of visualizing in duality will be bereft of all transcendental knowledge. What will happen if we are supporting or fault finding? We will be bereft of all the knowledge. Pretentiously religious householder life in which one is attracted to material happiness and thus also attracted to the superficial explanation of Vedas, robs one of all intelligence and attaches one to the fruitive activities as all in all. So such person will mm, lose the great opportunity of uh, returning back home, back to Godhead. Rather, he gets entangled in the cycle of birth and death, thinking happiness of the material world is the best thing. There is nothing else, and one should work hard and earn happiness and suffer if it comes on its own. So he gets more busy in the sansar cycle. Daksha has accepted the body as all in all. Therefore, since he has forgotten the Vishnupad or Vishnugati and is attached to sex life only, within a short time he will have the face of a goat. Hmm. So it's very sensitive subject. Finding faults, we may think, hey, there is no one to check us. We may think that there is no one. We may think that Paramatma is inside our heart. He is checking. He's checking. It's not that I can do anything. There are witnesses in different forms. The Lord is so close in our heart. He can see what is happening. What are we thinking really? Huh? He is making a note of everything. And there is also mm, sun, there is also devatas. There is so many witnesses through which we are always witnessed what are we doing, what our actions are. Here Nandishwar has cursed Daksha to become a god because you are thinking that body is great. That's why you are thinking Lord Shiva has all these strange garlands. He applies ashes of crematorium. Uh, he doesn't has a home. All this you are thinking that's only a bodily level. So for that, I think you are more interested in worldly affairs. So he cursed. Those who have become as dull as matter by cultivating material education and intelligence are recently involved in futile activities. Such men have purposefully insulted Lord Shiva. May they continue in the cycle of repeated birth and death. May those who are envious of Lord Shiva, being attracted by the flowery language of enchanting Vedic promises, and who have thus become dull, always remain attached to the fruitive activities. So, yeah, we have to be very careful. Here is saying, Nandeshwar is cursing, one who is envious of Lord Shiva, being attracted by the flowery language of Vedic promises, uh, and who have thus become dull, they will continue in the cycle of birth and death. These Brahmanas take to education, austerity, and vows only for the purpose of maintaining the body. So this curse from Narad Muni is for all the Brahmanas who are present, and they say, and he said, of course, the knowledge, the purpose is to become self-realized, but the curse is that that will be only for maintaining the body. They shall be devoid of discrimination between what to eat and what not to eat. They will acquire money begging from door to door simply for satisfaction of the body. Few things we are already seeing. And of course, the discrimination of what to eat, what not to eat slowly gets compromised with the taste. Yeah, I think I like to eat. So I see people eating, I see people enjoying. There's so much, what do you call this? Advertising billboards. Uh, there is this KFC. There is nice advertising how one can enjoy the meat. Uh, how come someone creates such videos how to enjoy meat? Yeah. So when all the hereditary Brahmanas were thus cursed by Nandishwar, the sage Bhrigu, he became, yeah, how can you curse Brahmanas? He condemned the followers of Lord Shiva with very strong Brahmanical curse. He said, one who takes a vow to satisfy Lord Shiva or who follows such principles will certainly become an atheist and be diverted from the transcendental scriptural injunctions. Those who vow to worship Lord Shiva are so foolish that they imitate him by keeping long hair on their heads. When initiated into worship of Lord Shiva, they prefer to live in wine, flesh, and other such things. And Bhrigu continued, since you blaspheme the Vedas and the Brahmanas who are followers of Vedic principles, it is understood that you have already taken shelter of doctrine of atheism. Anyway, this goes further. In the purports, we can understand what exactly it meant. The Vedas give the eternal regulative principles for auspicious advancement in civilization, which have been rigidly followed in the past. The strong evidence of this principle is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is called Janardhan, the well-wisher of all living entities. Anyway, I want to come to the end of this. Yeah, anyway, we are last few verses. By blaspheming the principles of Vedas, which are pure and supreme path of saintly persons, certainly you followers of Bhutapati, sorry, Lord Shiva, will descend to the standard of atheism without a doubt. The sage Maitreya said, when such cursing and counter cursing was going on between Lord Shiva's followers and the parties of Daksha and Bhrigu, what happened is very, very important quality. Lord Shiva became very morose. Not saying anything, he left the arena of the sacrifice, followed by his disciples. So this is what is the character of a devotee. He is he doesn't appreciate what is happening there. He is not interested in all these things. He is not interested in the juice that is coming from gossips. He is not interested in the rumors that is coming. He is not interested in the appreciation from someone. Yeah. And especially when all these things are happening, which are at the bodily platform, he just thinks, hey, this is all the effect of material energy. Uh, so what can we do? Lord Shiva is not cursing, thinking it's just like cursing a um, intoxicated person. If you just see a person who is drinking alcohol, and if you go and you teach him everything, hey, you know what, this is that harmful, this harmful, what is the value of it? Huh? So cursing and counter cursing is of no use. Here, Lord Shiva's excellent character is described. I'm reading the purport. In spite of cursing and counter cursing between the parties of Daksha and Shiva, because he is the greatest Vaishnav, he was so sober that he did not say anything. A Vaishnav is always tolerant. Lord Shiva is considered the topmost Vaishnav, so his character, as shown in the scene, is excellent. He became morose because he knew that these people were unnecessarily cursing and counter cursing one another without any interest in spiritual life. If one is serious of attaining success in spiritual path, one should be very careful not to indulge in this cursing, counter cursing. Yeah, what is it? Cursing and counter cursing is nothing but fault finding. Yeah, in fault finding, indirectly we are saying, hey, this person is fitless, that this. Uh, from his point of view, he did not see anyone as lower or higher because he is a Vaishnav. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Pandita Samadarshina, one who is perfectly learned does not see anyone as lesser or greater because he sees everyone from the spiritual platform. Thus, the only alternative left to Lord Shiva was to leave in order to stop his follower Nandishwar as well as Bhrigu Muni from cursing and counter cursing in that way. Hmm. And then so anyway, that we can cut short from there. We can see how dangerous it is that the propensity of speaking and speaking unethically, untruthfully, and with an agenda uh, can cause problems. Before I go to the second pastime, I don't know how much time we have, but any questions here? Hope it threw some light of how dangerous it is to find faults.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji, for this explanation. I have a question, Prabhuji.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes we are on the other side of fault finding, Prabhuji. I mean, sometimes people come and say, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. And the other person is also, I mean, if he is also a good devotee, and we also know that he or she is a senior, and yeah, they are genuinely trying to help us, but we know that we have not done that. I mean, we are not responsible for what happened, and yeah, it's not entirely our mistake or my mistake. Sometimes these kind of things also happen, and simply going away from that situation or going away from that place is also it also is rude. I mean,
What's your question?
question is, I mean, when something like this happens, we might also sometimes lose respect towards that person. So how can we avoid
Mm-hmm.
this or don't fall into this
Mm-hmm.
situation?
I can give an example, which I came across few days or I think back. There's a classroom in Japan where the teacher, yeah, she saw that there is always the kids are fighting um, among themselves or not well obedient, disciplined. So one day she asked as the students, can you tell me whom do you hate more? Mm. And what you do is you get the photos of those, yeah, just like uh, and next day she showed an exercise. You know what now? she showed a wall. Mm, what do you call this? A big notice where there is, and she started pinning all those photos. And she said, "Now I'm giving you this darts. You know this dart game with this sharp pointers." She said, "Now you just throw this dart on them." Yeah, because ideally you want, yeah, you hate them and you want to sometimes feel, yeah, see, if I get a chance I want to hurt or attack, so there's this propensity is there. uh, and yeah, and everyone, all the kids, because of course I have this pressure that is built. I want to speak, I want to speak against, or I'm not appreciating that person, I don't like him because of A, B, C, or so many things. And now this is the opportunity, you are given a chance to just let it go. And then all the kids, they threw these darts and they could, yeah, all those pictures were darted nicely. And then what she did was that, yeah, she slowly removed those darts and she removed those photos. And behind that, yeah, the screen, she just removed what was covering. Behind that was Jesus Christ picture. And then she told to the yeah, students, yeah, so you have this, but actually behind them, who is there? It is the Lord. Yeah. And if we take into our understanding similarly, is that there is Krishna in everyone's heart, isn't it? Yeah, Krishna is present in everyone's heart. Otherwise, why would someone speak? Yeah, we may say, hey, no, no, Krishna, um, that person, yeah, he is non-devotee, or he is a devotee, or a senior devotee, or a non-senior devotee. All these things we are seeing, and in the previous in this canto we were reading Pandita Samadarshina. So when we develop this quality of mm, seeing not faults in others, that itself is first thing. But other thing is also that we should see that, yeah, okay, if someone is chastising me, there definitely can be a reason, right? The person has more experience, the person knows what will happen, the person, yeah, is genuinely trying to help me out. Yeah, but I'm thinking all this is fine, but the dealing is not proper. Or we may say, no, yeah, those those come into more details. If we catch the principle is to do what? To help me out, to correct me, isn't it? And is that good or not? Huh? If a person is giving you, yeah, yeah, as you said, yeah, if you are on the fault finder, founded side, the fault finder here is finding fault in me. Everything I'm doing is finding fault in me. Yeah, then you can check confidentially with the person by cross asking questions to understand genuinely where is the fault. Is there room for improvement? Or is the person is coming, as I said, if the person is a fault finder, he has his own issues due to which he is not able to see what you're doing, then you can maintain some distance. Yeah. The world is not bereft of yeah, others, right? There are still, you can definitely approach others, engage in the services. So it's not like, okay, now you can't do any service anymore. Services are there, you can engage in the services. How to deal with the person who is finding fault? Definitely, he deserves respect. Yeah, a sadhu is sadhu. We may not be appreciating him now, or he may not be manifesting all that now. Krishna himself is saying that if someone mm, mm, for some time he falls down, but still he should be respected. There is never question that we can't. So I think you also are coming to the same point. I would like to appreciate, respect him, but I'm not able to do. Hmm? Is that the challenge, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Then we can check his track record, how successful he has done so many things. Hmm? Yeah, I mean, of course, there are also some small examples from Ramayana through which we can understand this. Yeah. So, and the point here is that, yeah, if someone is helping us genuinely, yeah, maybe the way how he does might be not appreciative for us because we have not brought up in the same culture, same uh, lifestyles, generations. Yeah, maybe a person who is from 1990s or 1950s, 1940s, they have a different uh, way of teaching. Hmm. Well, and so it differs, and we should grow. And the purpose is also that the purpose is that we can grow how to appreciate others, how they are helping us. And of course, if there is something to learn, definitely learn. If there is something, yeah, we understand. No, 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 it's genuinely I am targeted, I am bullied, I am exploited. Yeah, then better we move away. Yeah, just like if there is infection, what we do. Are we going to fight without with that? No, we just maintain some uh, hygiene distance. Yeah, Suritesh Babu, or I
Yes,
don't
Prabhuji.
know. Shall I
Thank you.
further
The answer.
elaborate or?
No, no problem. It's clear now. Yeah, thank you.
Mhm. Okay. Other questions? I think Rishabh Prabhu was raised his hand, I think.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Prabhuji, in the past time that you shared with Daksha and Shivji, so Nandi Maharaj, he was then cursing everyone after Shivji left. So,
No,
I mean, as per, or Shivji
he
was there
was,
when he was cursing.
yeah, he was there.
Okay, so my question here is that, um, as per the etiquettes that you were also explaining, that we should try to cut the person who's speaking against a Vaishnav
Mm-hmm.
or try to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so Nandi, in that sense, didn't presented that example because neither he cut him, he gave, and everyone, including Nandi, everyone gave him the full chance to say as much as he can, as long as possible. And
Mm.
then
I have
neither anyone
narrated
left.
very dramatically so that it took so much time, but in
Yeah.
that moment, it wouldn't be so much time. Yeah. So it's not like, oh, what are you going to say? Oh, let me stop you. Huh? Mm. So the conversation also, yeah, comes to a point where it's enough. Yeah. Enough is enough. There's also this tolerating. Yeah. And the way he was saying, yeah. Nandishwar, yeah, being Lord Shiva's servant, he couldn't see that, yeah, his master is, uh, yeah, criticized. Yeah. Your question is, hey, why did he allow so long? That's your question.
Yeah, maybe stop him
And
after one or two lines. I mean,
these were actually not so many, right? So, hmm,
hmm. Okay, Prabhuji.
hmm.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, these were not so many, in fact. Okay, Ratikali Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah, as far as I remember from the
Oh,
Bhagavad
sorry,
Gita.
one more thing before I come to this. In this context, yeah, whatever Daksha was using the words, hmm, he is thinking he was cursing like, hey, his eyes are like monkeys and etc. etc. Actually, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, he says that in unknowingly Daksha was actually glorifying Lord Shiva's great qualities. Yeah, yeah, Rishabh Prabhu. Hmm. So, yeah, the providence let it go until all those glorifications indeed happened.
I didn't understand how would that a glorification.
Yeah, that is still a glorification, though the person is not saying, hey, you are Chatur. If I'm saying, yeah, that has two meanings. Yeah. One meaning is, yeah, you're really intelligent, you're really clever. The other Chatur is, yeah, you're very cunning. Yeah. So let's think on that. Yeah. Rathikali Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Um, when we had this Bhagavad Sapta, when we were going through this purpose, I remember this also that Lord Shiva goes from there so that no more
Yeah. It doesn't go further.
further and many more aparadhas will not be done by others. So he gets up from there and goes. So that his karnas also will not do the same mistake what Daksha is doing by cursing him back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also there. Yeah. I don't know, Rishabh Prabhu, did it answer your question? I think in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 10th canto also we see when Indra was, talking so low about Krishna, the words that used, Saraswati Devi is uh, uh, um, making sure that the person is the words whatever used are kind of actually glorifying. Yeah, so in that way we can see every pastime. Yeah, we may say, hey, it shouldn't go so long, then nothing would be there, right? Why did Indra send thunderbolt? Why did all this happen? Rather, Krishna would have immediately stopped. Then Indra wouldn't learn. Yeah,
True,
you're
bro.
on mute or
Yes, bro. Hare Krishna.
yeah. So we cannot question the timing. Sorry. The timing is maintained by the Lord. He makes sure that what has to be said is said. Hmm.
I was not confused about the timing. For me, the confusion was the etiquette, because many
Yeah, yeah.
times we do get into these circumstances where some devotee is criticizing another devotee, and then we are in the middle, standing in the middle, and we don't know, should I stop it now after his first line, or should I wait him to complete his paragraph to understand if it's really an offense, or is this just the fact sharing? And by that time that person have said a complete paragraph, and you are sitting there, oh shit, why did I really listen? I should have stopped it in the beginning.
Okay. So if that is the question, I think if you are a second person, right? That's what you're asking. Or you, like
Yeah, third
Nandishwar.
person, like Nandi. Yeah.
No, yeah, third person. Yeah, then what to do? In the case of third person, Nandishwar, he was seeing what is happening here, what is happening here. And then, he did react. And now, if you want, you can react, by really saying, hey, no, 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 what you're saying is wrong. Uh, Even in the Shastras, that is there, this is there, and you can support, not the fault finder, but fault founded. Hmm. If you think, no, etiquettes come in place that, hey, he's a senior, yeah, you can wait if you are given a chance to speak. If you are not given a chance, you can just move on. But at least, you're not just encouraging that, saying, wow, so nice. Yeah, even I was. The same. Yeah.
hmm So the best is not to if it's a senior
The
person, then don't
minimum,
encourage.
the
Yeah.
minimum is don't enjoy it. The next minimum thing is don't be part of it. Mm. And then if you are asked to contribute for good, not for bad. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare
Mm.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah. Other questions? Because then I'll thinking of yeah. So yeah, Hare Krishna.
Oh, sorry, that was Suri saying Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, sorry.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for all this explanation. I have one little question.
Mhm.
Is finding fault in others is a category of subtle sense gratification? Because
It is
the
not subtle, it is gross sense gratification. We we want to feel ourselves better Because this is actually, the root is coming from envy. Because we are envious about other supremacy, we just, if we cannot raise our bars of standard, we want to make sure that others come below, the standard. So why we do that? So that we can enjoy. Yeah. Because we are, by nature, we are enjoyers. We want to enjoy. But if someone is superior, and we are not in a position to accept it, that's why we try to pull them down. And that whatever is coming, that's happiness, that's pleasure, that's sometimes bliss. Yeah. Otherwise, why are we going to pull them when we are not in a competitive spirit? Yeah. So I think yesterday, me and Rupa Manjari, we were discussing about Pralambasura, what does he represent, and etc. In that connection, yeah, she was mentioning, what is that? Represent the desire to enjoy, the lust to enjoy opposite sex is one thing. The other one is to become rich, become very wealthy. So many ways through which we want to become superior. And yeah, such propensity, yeah, also leads to fault finding.
Yep.
Parth Prabhu.
Yeah. Thank you, Guruji. Then we
Yeah.
must stop it as we are.
Yeah. Fault finding is a pit. So who wants to fall in a pit knowingly? And there are, of course, a few things we should do. I mean, today I couldn't cover that because this past time I thought we could go a little deeper and then benefit. To next Sunday, if everyone is fine, can we continue again with this operation fault finding further, or is it already boring? Yeah, anyone for it or not?
Slightly deeper.
Hmm? Hare Krishna, everyone. Feedback. Okay. Yeah,
You
we
can
can
continue,
go
Ramesh is
there.
asking.
Yeah, we can continue because there are some, I mean, I just picked up one pastime from Bhagavatam. Then how to apply practically is also needed, because otherwise we may think scriptures are scriptures. They are not from these times. So maybe it's not relevant. I can't apply. Or if I want to apply, but how to? So these things we can cover next week, or I don't think next week also. I'll try to cover something next week. I want to also use another pastime, very, very relevant for this. Yeah, giving up this quality of fault finding from Srimad Bhagavatam next week. And then we go into practical ways of avoiding it or overcoming it. Yeah, if everyone agrees, yeah, we can do that. Harinam Chintamani Mataji.
Can I still ask a question?
Yes, please.
Thank you so much for your wonderful classes. And I have a question. In Upadeshamrita, it also says like we should share our mind in confidence. And sometimes, like we have to also share what's disturbing us. So, I just would like to understand for me, what does it mean if I share my mind in confidence? What's, I find disturbing on other person? Is it criticizing, or how can I,
Okay.
how can I go about it? Thank you.
So in Upadeshamrita, there is this, that one should approach someone in confidence and share. This is a counselor, or I think you were asking in Simhachalam also, right? Shiksha Guru. The purpose of sharing is, it can be like, okay, you don't want to, the goal is not to make sure that you are correct. The goal is that, yeah, by giving an example, live example, you want to see what can you improve. In that connection, you may not bring up the name. Yeah, you can keep it generic. Yeah. unless the other person really wants to understand further and to be expressing confidential. It doesn't mean that okay, I'm going to tell everything that is there. We have to see what is that which we want to be open. Right? The purpose of being that is to be very transparent, so that the person who is going to help you out understands you better, not that he understands others better. That is not he's quite interested in. He wants to know about you. So yeah, we should be sensible what to share about others, yeah, and how it helps others, how it helps you. So we should be really sensible while sharing. It's not like okay, we share all the secrets. I have seen from, as soon as when such a person comes, you start telling, you are not in this town because, and then you don't know everything. But let me tell, devotee A does this, devotee B does this, C does that. You know what, I wanted to do this, but he stopped. I want to do that, she stopped. You know why? Because she is that. No, we don't want to give all these things. In the end, such a person is not interested in that. He would just ask, okay, what is that you can do, how you can get out of it. I don't know if I answered your question at a high level.
Yes, you answered, but it's just I had like a different
Question?
idea about the question. It's like if I reflect myself, sometimes it helps to speak to a friend. I'm not even talking about now counselor, like a mentor, but sharing with a friend. And sometimes when I share something, I see, wow, I am wrong, like, because one has to also bring it up. I don't know if it's like if I did not
Actually,
understand it properly, what does it mean to speak
yeah.
in confidence?
Actually, Mataji, I would say one of the big risks that we take in and getting into fault finding is that we want to discuss more. We want to talk more. And in one way, it is nice because then that way, after all, we want to improve. But what can happen is, as soon as when we open the mouth, the mind also functions. So sometimes we may not genuinely speak out. Yeah, we might. Yeah, because do you want that your friend thinks you have some um, not bad habits. Yeah, I mean that you have anarthas. You usually think that no, you'll still justify your anarthas or you will not speak about your anarthas. So there is a tendency that when we talk with someone, there is still a chance. So we should be very, very careful. That's why eh, I would say let's go through the next pastime also and then come back to this question in more detail. Yeah, I'm not. Um, I think it's better understood further after that. But in short, yeah, we should the genuinity is there. You want to improve by speaking with others, yeah, because you may not be able to see yourself. But I would say if you really dare to see yourself hmm, as it is, then I think yeah, at least most of the things you won't need to speak with others.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm not discouraging that you should not talk to friends or, but I'm saying we are developing sufficient intelligence to really know that I did a mistake. But at the moment, mind is saying that I didn't make that mistake. That is our problem. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. Maybe
Thank you.
you might want to have yeah, more about it, but I would say that then what happens, this friend knows about you and we don't know tomorrow what may happen, yeah, and that person may say, and then again it becomes another problem. There's whole effect of it, yeah, there's a domino effect of yeah, when we are talking with anyone, everyone, or selected one, still we have to be little careful. Why should we even talk? If I know the problem, I know what to do. Only after really thinking, yes, I'm still thinking, and I didn't. Then, as I said, yeah, you don't usually speak with only friends, but usually speak with someone who can pull you out. Again, I don't know. Maybe I'm selecting only one part of uh, the solution. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very complicated topic, but thank you so much. You're already what you said. It's good. Thank you.
Yeah. So the most of problems we can avoid by not actually opening up into yeah, what we can do ourselves. Let's first we can try that. If not, then yeah, definitely there will be, the guide is anyway there, right? He has to, or she has to guide. So you can then, that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that, through that reference we can see that one should be expressing in confidence to the other person, because otherwise we would not improve. Yeah. So we cannot say, hey, let lot of things I can solve by myself, so I don't need a guru. That's not right thing, because we can't solve so many things ourselves. Yeah. But at the same time, we can't go in a, just like politics, because I don't know how to choose the right leader. So let's do a voting. Yeah. We know what is the effect of it. Either qualified, unqualified, I mean, not intelligent or unintelligent. If he's qualified, if he's doing, then we see what is the consequence of it. So we have to be, I mean, yeah, that's why it's not that we express ourselves to many, we choose and advance.
Thank you so much. Maybe next time, I don't know if it's like because I can see for me the difficulty is not only not opening the mouth and saying something, but to stop thinking that, it's, I found it's like this is the bigger challenge.
Yeah, as I said, the mind triggers the mouth, or the mouth triggers the mind, but what comes out, it depends on what is inside our heart. Yeah, is it manipulated? Yeah. Yeah. So through the strength of Bhagavatam, through the strength of the stories, through the strength of service, chanting, these are the ways through which we can engage ourselves not to get into the fault finding business, or or any in fact any other offenses. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Then thank you very much, and yeah, looking forward for session 3 on aversion to fault finding. Yeah, we see us next Sunday. Is it possible, Rupa? We have Rathayat. No, yeah, it's still possible. Next Sunday. Next Sunday is Janmashtami. No. Yeah, it's possible. Then we all see us next Sunday. Thank you very much. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः वच पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
हरे
Thank you,
कृष्ण
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण हरे
हरि
कृष्ण
बोल।
बोलिए
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण।
Krishna.